First contact with Joshua put.
Today, I brought up a topic of something that we're dealing with right now. Because on Tuesdays, I want to deal with subjects that are conspiracies. Okay, now conspiracy, I'm kind of getting tired of that term conspiracy. I rather look at it as something as like alternative theories. Okay, conspiracy certainly means two or three people conspiring to do something. Well, there's plenty of conspiracy, so the term has been so overused in society that we are really kind of getting lost every time we hear that term. So I want to provide to you, rather than conspiracies, I want to present to you alternative theories of alternative media that's coming out not from the mainstream sources, because that is one of the issues that's going on. Last time I did the show 2 weeks ago, I did shows about the fake news. We keep hearing that term a lot. Fake news. What is fake news? Fake news is news that is made up. It's fake. It's not real. Question is, would somebody in the mainstream news actually make up stories and present them as being real? Think about it for a second. Seems kind of crazy that they would do it, but they absolutely do it. They make up stories, they present them as if they're real, and the general public, unless they're informed that these stories are fake, buy them hook, line, and sinker. They've been doing it for years and years and years. So it's really no different what's going on than what has been going on for a long while. The only thing that's different is we have the social media in order to be able to counteract that. So, for example, President Trump knows that he's not getting a good deal when it comes to the media. I know that. You know that. Anyone who's truly paying attention and looks at things from an unbiased perspective can see without a shadow of a doubt that he's being treated unfairly. If he relied upon the media to get the information out to the public, his message would not get across and he would not have the same effect. So, what does he do? He speaks directly with the people using Twitter. Donald Trump can go on as the President of the United States, put out a tweet in the morning, and it goes out to millions of people who directly get his message. No middle person, no middleman who's going to take his words and twist his words, which means now the media has to catch up with him, okay? Because now they have to pay attention to what he's really saying. Because all they're left with now is reporting that the president put out a tweet today, and they got to figure out his tweet. But I can tell you, as somebody who does receive his tweets and retweets them on, as you know, I find that to be very reassuring. And when I'm here and I hear a notification come in and I look and there's a message from the President of the United States, another tweet, I like that. I feel good about that because I know that he is on the job and I know that he is thinking and asking questions. Right now, there's a lot of problems. As you may be aware, Susan Rice now is being outed as the person who was responsible, allegedly responsible, for unmasking President Trump's identity. See, the whole idea and the whole thing that's taking place to catch us up is basically there's been a whole lot of information that's been gathered from a variety of sources. Edward Snowden talked about this with the NSA, how this information is gathered. And most of it is just gathered through and it just passes on without any particular attention being paid to it, sort of like water flowing through a pipe. But periodically, there's information when the powers that be want to look at certain bits of information, they can go and check further, look at the little details, unmask the anonymous aspect of the various individuals that are there. And during this process of unmasking, people that were once trying to keep information encrypted or just thought that they were exchanging information privately are no longer doing so. So Donald Trump's information was captured in all of this information that was out there, was caught up, and in the process, his name was unmasked in order to try to look at him further going into the election. Basically, what they did was illegal. President Obama was involved with this. Susan Rice was involved with this. Loretta Lynch was involved with this. Comey seems to have been involved with this. There's a whole lot of disrespectful characters that are involved in this process. And the swamp truly is in the process of being drained, one person at a time. So this is very significant here, what is going on, what is being released, and the information that is being gathered. So what I wanted to show you further is because I'm guessing that this is not being talked about extensively like it should be in the mainstream news. However, if you go to the various forums, if you spend any time over at the Donald, at the Reddit, it's the_Donald, you'll find out there's a tremendous amount of research taking place over there. If you go over to 4chan /POL, you'll find a tremendous amount of research going on there. Go to Godlike Productions, and what you're going to find is information is being passed around about Vault 7. So let me read a little bit about this information so you know exactly what is going on here. Tuesday, March 7, 2017, Wikileaks began its new series of leaks on the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, codename Vault 7 by Wikileaks. It is the largest ever publication of confidential documents on the agency. The first full part of the series, Year Zero, comprises 8,761 documents and files from an isolated high-security network situated inside the CIA's Center for Cyber Intelligence in Langley, Virginia. It follows an introductory disclosure last month of CIA targeting French political parties and candidates in the lead-up to the 2012 presidential election. Now, recently, the CIA lost control of the majority of its hacking arsenal, including malware, viruses, trojans, weaponized zero-day exploits, malware remote control systems, and associated documentation. This extraordinary collection, which amounts to more than several hundred million lines of code, gives its possessor the entire hacking capacity of the CIA. The archives appears to have been circulated among former U.S. government hackers and contractors in an unauthorized manner, one of whom has provided WikiLeaks with portions of the archive. Year Zero introduces the scope and the direction of the CIA's global covert hacking program, its malware arsenal, and dozens of zero-day weaponized exploits against a wide range of U.S. and European company products, which include Apple's iPhone, Google's Android and Microsoft Windows, and even Samsung TVs, which are turned into covert microphones. Since 2001, the CIA has gained political and budgetary preeminence over the U.S. National Security Agency. The CIA found itself building not just its infamous drone fleet, but a very different type of covert, global-spanning force, its own substantial fleet of hackers. The agency's hacking division freed it from having to disclose its often controversial operations to the NSA in order to draw on the NSA's hacking capabilities. By the end of 2016, the CIA's hacking division, which formerly falls under the agency's Center for Cyber Intelligence, had over 5,000 registered users and had produced more than 1,000 hacking systems, trojans, viruses, and other weaponized malware. Such is the scale of the CIA's undertaking that by 2016, the hackers had utilized more code than had used to run Facebook. The CIA had created, in effect, its own NSA, with even less accountability and without public answering the question as to whether such a massive budgetary spend on duplicating the capacities of a rival agency could be justified. In a statement to WikiLeaks, the source details policy questions that they say urgently need to be debated in public, including whether or not the CIA's hacking capabilities exceed its mandated powers and the problem of public oversight of the agency. The source wishes to initiate a public debate around the security, creation, use, proliferation, and democratic control of cyber weapons. Once a single cyber weapon is loose, it can spread around the world in seconds to be used by rival states, cyber mafia, and teenage hackers alike. Julian Assange, WikiLeaks editor, stated that there's an extreme proliferation risk in the development of cyber weapons. Comparisons can be drawn between the uncontrolled proliferation of separate weapons, which results from the inability to contain them, combined with their high market value and the global arms trade. But the significance of Year Zero goes well beyond the choice between cyber war and cyber peace. The disclosure is also an exceptional from a political, legal, and forensic perspective. Wikileaks has carefully reviewed the year zero disclosure and published substantive CIA documentation while avoiding the distribution of armed cyber weapons until a consensus emerges on the technical and political nature of the CIA's programs and how such weapons should be analyzed, disarmed, and published. WikiLeaks also decided to redact and anonymize some identifying information in year zero for in-depth analysis. These redactions include tens of thousands of CIA targets and attack machines throughout Latin America, Europe, and the United States. While we are aware of the imperfect results of any approach chosen, we remain committed to our publishing model, and we note that the quantity of published pages in Vault 7 Part 1 already eclipses the total number of pages published over the first 3 years of the Edward Snowden NSA leaks. Okay, so this is quite amazing, this information here, and I have one other bit of information I'm going to leave available to you as well. This is Marble Framework, one of the other things that they discovered, and 676 source code files for the CIA's secret anti-forensic Marble Framework. Marble is used to hamper forensic investigators and antivirus companies from attributing viruses, Trojan, and hacking attacks to the CIA. So basically, a lot of covert things going on with the old CIA, and people need to be aware of these things, because if we're not aware of these situations, then we've got big problems. So according to these articles and the information, the Android phones, the iPhones, the Samsung TVs, basically any technical device that connects to some sort of wireless network is going to capture your information. Hopefully the people capturing it are not going to use it for nefarious purposes, but that's not always the case. So we need to find that the accountability that goes along with how that information is used. Because in order for us to transact business on a daily basis, we need to be able to send this information back and forth, but we need to be able to trust that we're going to do so without violating and crossing the boundaries of another person's ability to transact business as well. Okay, so we need to find the common ground, but we also don't want our agency spying on us. So there you go. That's the daily topic for today. WikiLeaks, Vault 7. Check out the links. Read the information. There's a wealth of information there that we all need to know about. All right? All right. Let's move on here. We're going to jump over to our daily scripture, Psalm 118.